I hoped, and I don't really understand why I expected the dog to understand anything, much less my motivations. I just hoped for the dog to understand. It's just that if you can't deal with people, you have to make a start somewhere. With animals. Don't you see? A person has to have some way of dealing with something. If not with people, something. With a bed, with a cockroach, with a mirror. No, that's too hard. That's one of the last steps. With a cockroach, with a carpet, a roll of toilet paper. No, that's not it either. That's a mirror too. Always check for bleeding. You see how hard it is to find things? With a street corner and too many lights, all colors reflecting on the oily wet streets. With a wisp of smoke with pornographic playing cards, with a strong box, without a lock, with love, with laughing, with vomiting, with crying, with fury because pretty little ladies aren't pretty little ladies, with making money with your body, which is an act of love, and I can prove it, with howling because you're alive, and with God. How about that? With God, who's a colored queen, who wears a kimono and plucks his eyebrows, who's a woman who cries with determination behind her closed door. With God, who I'm told turned his back on the whole thing some time ago. With someday, with people. People. With an idea, a concept. And we're better. We're ever better in this humiliating excuse for a jail. We're better to communicate one single, simple-minded idea than in an entrance hall. Where? It would be a start. We're better to make a beginning. To understand and just possibly be understood. A beginning of an understanding than with a dog. Just that. A dog. A dog. It seemed like a perfectly sensible idea. Man is a dog's best friend, remember? So the dog and I looked at each other. I longer than the dog. And what I saw then has been the same ever since. Whenever we see each other, we both stop where we are. We regard each other with a mixture of sadness and suspicion, and then we feign indifference. We walk past each other safely. We have an understanding. It's very sad, but you have to admit that it is an understanding. We had made many attempts at contact, and we had failed. The dog returned to garbage, and I to solitary but free passage. I have not returned. I mean to say I have gained solitary free passage, if that much further loss can be said to be gain. I have learned that neither kindness nor cruelty by themselves, independent of each other, can create any effect beyond themselves. And I have learned that the two combined together at the same time are the teaching emotion, and what is gained is loss. And what has been the result? The dog and I have attained a compromise. More of a bargain, really. We neither love nor hurt because we do not try to reach each other. And was trying to feed the dog an act of love? And perhaps was the dog's attempt to bite me not an act of love? If we can so misunderstand, why have we invented the word love in the first place? The story of Jerry and the dog. The end. Well, Peter? Well, Peter, do you think I could sell that story to Reader's Digest and make a couple $100 for the most unforgettable character I've ever met? Huh? Oh, come on, Peter, tell me what you think.
I don't understand. I don't think Why did you tell me all of this?
Why not?
I don't understand.
That's a lie.
No, it's not.
I tried to explain it to you as I went along. I went slowly. It all
I don't want to hear anymore. I don't understand you or your landlady or her dog.
Her dog? But I thought it was mine. No, you're right. It is her dog. Oh, stupid. I don't know what I was thinking. Of course you don't understand. I don't live on your block. I'm not married to 2 parakeets or whatever your setup is. I am a permanent transient, and my home is the sickening rooming house on the west side of New York City, which is the greatest city in the world. Amen.
I'm sorry.
Forget it. I suppose you don't know quite what to make of me, do you?
We get all kinds in publishing.
You're a funny man. I mean, really. You're a very, richly comic person.
Oh, no, not really.
Peter, do I annoy you or confuse you?
Well, I must admit this wasn't the kind of afternoon I had anticipated.
You mean I'm not the gentleman you were expecting?
I wasn't expecting anybody.
No, I don't imagine you were. But I'm here, and I'm not leaving.
Oh, well, you may not be, but I really must be getting home.
Oh, come on, stay a while longer.
No, I really should get home.
Come on.
After all, the parakeets will be getting their dinner ready. The cats will be setting the table.
Peter?
What?
Peter, listen now.
What is it?
Do you want to know what happened at the zoo?
The what?
The zoo.
Oh, yes. The zoo. Oh, well. I just had my own zoo there for a moment. The parakeets getting the dinner ready and whatever it was.
Yes, Peter, that's very funny. I wouldn't have imagined it. But, do you want to know what happened at the zoo or not?
Yes. By all means. Tell me what happened at the zoo.